Imagine your car breaks down tomorrow. Or maybe you lose your job. Or a huge unexpected medical bill lands in your mailbox. If your first thought is that you'd have to put that on a credit card, then that is exactly why you need an emergency fund. Today, we're talking about why this one specific savings account can completely change your financial life for the better. This isn't just about saving money, it's about buying peace of mind. So let's get into it. So, what exactly is an emergency fund? It's pretty simple. An emergency fund is a stash of cash you've set aside specifically for those unexpected, absolutely necessary expenses. I want to be really clear about what this is not for. It's not for a spontaneous vacation. It's not for holiday gifts. And it's definitely not for upgrading to the latest smartphone. This money has one job and one job only, to protect you during a real emergency. Think of things like sudden medical bills, major car repairs that you need to get to work, an unexpected job loss, or essential home repairs like a burst pipe or a broken furnace in the middle of winter. It could even be for urgent travel like needing to fly home for a family emergency. Your emergency fund is your financial airbag. You really hope you never ever have to use it. But if you do, you'll be incredibly grateful that it's there to cushion the blow. It's the difference between a bump in the road and a complete financial catastrophe. It's your safety net when life decides to throw you a curveball. Now, let's talk about what happens when you don't have one. Living without an emergency fund is like walking a tightrope with no safety net below. When those financial surprises pop up, and they always do, they quickly turn into much bigger problems. You might find yourself racking up high-interest credit card debt just to cover a basic repair. Or worse, you might turn to something like a payday loan, which can trap you in a cycle of debt that's incredibly difficult to escape. The stress and anxiety that come with this are enormous. You're constantly worried about making rent, about how you'll pay your bills. You might even have to make some really tough choices, like selling your investments at the absolute worst possible time, locking in losses just to get some cash. A single small emergency, like a $1,000 car repair, can snowball. It can take years, literally years of hard work to recover financially from something that an emergency fund could have easily covered. It's a domino effect that can destabilize your entire financial future. So the big question is, how much should you actually save? This can feel like a daunting number, but let's break it down. Most financial experts recommend having 3 to 6 months worth of your essential living expenses saved up. Now, essential is the key word here. We're talking about the things you absolutely have to pay for to live. That's your rent or mortgage, your groceries, utilities like electricity and water, your insurance payments, and your basic transportation costs. It's not your Netflix subscription or your daily coffee habit. If your income is unstable, maybe you're a freelancer, a gig worker, or you work on commission, you might want to aim closer to 6 to 12 months of expenses. That extra cushion gives you more time and security if your income fluctuates. But please don't let those big numbers paralyze you. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Your very first goal should just be $1,000. Once you hit that, you've created a small buffer. Then aim for 1 full month of expenses. Then 3 months. Each step you take builds more protection and more confidence. Progress is what matters, not perfection. Okay, so where should you keep this money? The location of your emergency fund is almost as important as having one in the first place. Your emergency fund needs to be 3 things: safe, liquid, and separate. First, safe means it's not at risk of losing value. This is not money you gamble with. Second, liquid means you can get to it quickly and easily when you need it. We're talking within a day or two, no questions asked. And third, separate means it shouldn't be mixed in with your everyday spending money. If it's too easy to access, you might be tempted to dip into it for non-emergencies. For all these reasons, a high-yield savings account is the ideal place for your emergency fund. It keeps your money safe, it earns a little bit of interest to combat inflation, and it's separate from your checking account but still easily accessible. What you absolutely should not do is put your emergency fund in stocks or cryptocurrency. The market is volatile, and you could be forced to sell at a huge loss if an emergency strikes during a downturn. You also shouldn't lock it up in long-term investments like certificates of deposit with stiff withdrawal penalties. For this money, stability trumps returns every single time. Now for the fun part, how do you build this fund fast? Getting from zero to a fully funded emergency account can feel like climbing a mountain, but there are some simple strategies to speed up the process. The most powerful tool you have is automation. Set up an automatic weekly or bi-weekly transfer from your checking account to your high-yield savings account. Even if it's just $20 or $50 a week, it adds up faster than you think because you're not relying on willpower. Another great trick is to immediately save any windfall money you get. Did you get a tax refund, a bonus from work? Put it straight into your emergency fund before you even have a chance to think about spending it. If you get a raise, save the difference before you let your lifestyle inflate to match your new income. This is called avoiding lifestyle creep. You can also look around your home and sell things you no longer use or need. That old bike, the video game console collecting dust, it's all cash waiting to be unlocked. You could even try a short-term side gig like food delivery or freelance writing for a few months with the sole purpose of funding your emergency savings. And finally, try doing a no-spend day or even a no-spend week where you only spend money on absolute necessities. It's a great way to reset your spending habits and find extra cash. As you build your fund, there are a few common mistakes to avoid. The biggest one, which we've touched on, is investing your emergency money. The risk is simply too high for funds you might need at a moment's notice. Another mistake is keeping it in your main checking account. It's too easy to accidentally spend it, and it gets mixed up with your regular bills, so you never really know how much of a buffer you have. A huge pitfall is raiding the fund for non-emergencies. That designer handbag is not an emergency. A concert ticket is not an emergency. Be strict with yourself. This money has a specific purpose. Perhaps the most common mistake of all is simply waiting to start. People get overwhelmed by the goal of saving 6 months of expenses, so they do nothing. Remember, start with a goal of $1,000. That's an achievable first step. And finally, don't set unrealistic goals. If you try to save half your income and it makes you miserable, you're going to quit. Find a sustainable amount you can save consistently. Building an emergency fund isn't supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be essential, like insurance for your financial life. When it's all said and done, the single biggest benefit of having an emergency fund isn't the money itself. It's the feeling it gives you. It's a sense of calm. It's confidence. It's being able to sleep better at night, knowing that if a surprise expense comes your way, you can handle it. It's the freedom from that constant low-level financial anxiety. It's knowing that you have a plan and that you're in control of your financial destiny. It transforms your relationship with money from one of fear to one of empowerment. So if you don't have an emergency fund yet, I hope this has inspired you. Your challenge is to start today. Open that high-yield savings account. Set up that first automatic transfer, even if it's just for $5. Your future self will be incredibly grateful that you did. Thanks for watching. If you want more simple, practical advice on money basics that can truly change your life, make sure to subscribe to Financial Essentials. We'll see you in the next video.